Hey guys, it's Angel, and I am so excited today to bring you a review of FlyingIron's Supermarine Spitfire. Don't mind that. Welcome to Flight Sim 2020, and tail draggers, for some reason it puts it up with the tail up. Go figure. This is a beautiful recreation of the Mk IXc Spitfire by, of course, FlyingIron Simulations, as I mentioned already. The Supermarine Spitfire was one of the most strategically important aircraft we had in the Second World War. It was the most beautiful we had, and it was the one that really brought the battle to the Messerschmitt 109s. And of course, the Mk IXs most famously actually took on things like the Doodlebugs. But it was, of course, an evolution of a racing plane, which is why it has such graceful lines. Originally, Supermarine's float plane for the Schneider Trophy. Now, that was back in the 20s, of course, but this is a beautiful recreation of a Mk IX. It comes with both clipped wing and normal winged variants in a whole host of liveries. Now, the developers, Flatiron Simulations, this is the first version, and there are a couple of known bugs. So the fuel tanks aren't connected to each other, so you can't feed from one into the other like the real one. That's unfortunate, but that's a sim limitation. Primer doesn't currently work like it does in real life. There's some glass flickering, which you can occasionally see, usually external view. And comms have to be worked from the ATC menu, but they plan to change that. Now, there are a couple of little missing sounds, but they're also working on that too. So developers have got pretty great communication. It includes a full manual with all your procedures you'll need to know, history of the aircraft, and a number of variants, why they did things like the clipped wings, and how long the aircraft stayed in service. In fact, the photo reconnaissance variant stayed in service, which you have one of in this pack, until 1954. So the aircraft is an absolute beauty, and it drops it back onto its tail here. We're at Donegal Island, of course, but we're inside the cockpit, and the textures are stunning. I have to say, truly beautiful. All the little gizmos and gadgets work. You can even click off your yoke by clicking here. Everything functions. Obviously the radios are the ATC menu for now, but they were kind of fixed band crystal operated radios at the time, so it wasn't really something designed to work with modern radios. You had to fit those in still flying versions now to do exactly that. But the aircraft is phenomenal. The level of detail they've created is stunning. It's absolutely breathtaking. The texture quality is eye-watering. The aircraft looks and feels truly gorgeous. Take a look outside. So even the period pilot looks gorgeous. That's a little bit of the flickering like we mentioned. This is just one of the non-clipped wing 9 variants. And it is absolutely breathtaking. Look at that thing. Oh, God, that's gorgeous. Obviously, the clip wing variants were basically here because that piece was held on with a couple of bolts and a strip that was screwed to the top and bottom of it to streamline it, basically. Disconnect the wingtip lights and undo a couple of bolts and a couple of screws and boop, put a fairing back on, done. That was basically it. Why did they do that? It increased roll rate. Made the aircraft much more nimble. But let's get ourselves going, shall we? It is time to go for a flight in this because no Spitfire belongs to be on the ground. Now, need to turn my mags on with my controls here. Batteries are on. And we're going to set our fuel pressure knob on. And I will just need to go down here with the cameras. There we go, to put our boost pump on, which should be on for most stages of flight. In fact, I'll need it for this whole little operation we'll be doing, because we're going for a little bit of a spin in this baby. So, okay, I'm in the way too close camera view there. Everything's operating as it should be here. Now, wobble pump, of course, would operate for, obviously, pumping fuel between the tanks. Let's make sure our devices are all set where they should be. Everything should be Gucci to go here. Now, primer, of course, doesn't do anything right now, so it is currently inoperable. Let's give her a kick. And I'm pretty sure there's something I didn't do. It is not the most forgiving aircraft, but give it a bit of throttle. Nope, that is not what we needed. Of course, it would work fine when I do it for a quick test flight before I took off here, because I wanted to basically make sure I didn't screw this up. And of course, proceeds to screw this up. What did I not press? There was something I probably didn't press. Mixtures on, fuels selected. Pretty positive fuel was selected. Yeah, we have our fuel pressure knob there. Set to open. I did that correctly. Doesn't do anything there. Oh, fuel needs to be turned on. There we go. That would help, yes. And it catches. Lovely. That's what we needed. Okay, so, sounds from the outside of the aircraft. Look at that warble. Oh, that is gorgeous. Whoa, God. Please don't tip over. I'm going to hold the elevator back as hard as I can here. Ooh. Yeah, I nearly ground looped Spitfire because this baby's powerful. Yeah. Without moving, that's impressive. Alright, let's get the thing buttoned up and we'll taxi ourselves out to the runway. And we'll take this baby for a spin, which is exactly what we need to do. Let's put those on there. Knock off our brake there with the toe brakes. Now, the real one has, of course, a single brake lever. Of course, we have the advantage of using differential braking and tailwheel steering. Let's get turned around here. There's a bit of sound glitching there. I think it actually peaks out in the simulator. It's that loud. Let's get ourselves out to the runway here. 0321 at Donegal. Why did I choose this one? Because I don't want to use international airport and I haven't got any add-on aircraft to the UK yet. Because living here and flying here, I don't want to do most of my sim flying in a place I already know. So I do most of mine in the US and Canada. But I couldn't fly a Spitfire anywhere else, really, could I? Let's close our canopy. And let's get this baby ready to get back in the air where she belongs. Now, the Spitfire's relatively gentle. The tail will come up naturally as you accelerate. A little bit of rudder keeps us straight. As I warble to the end of the runway there. That was horrible. Of course, everything works great when I do the test flight. I quickly checked it out to make sure I didn't make a fool of myself in a video. Proceeds to immediately make a fool of myself. So, just as a caveat here, running the, of course, honeycomb yoke, not what you'd have at a Spitfire. Lots of hassle to go plug in my HOTAS, and I wanted to fly this baby so soon. Okay, so let's make sure we aren't over boosting. Get it to about cruise power, should be about here. The aircraft flies incredibly well. Roll rate is good, of course, faster with the clipped wings. It's nimble, it's high performance, and it really is a pleasant joy to fly. Let's bring around here, back towards Donegal. Airport's off to our right there. I need to get head tracking sorted out. I really do. Especially with 2020. Let's bring it back in for a low pass, shall we? Bring the throttle back. This baby really deserves time in the air. Full power for a low pass. Come down the runway. No, the aircraft is an absolute joy to fly. This thing feels nimble, it feels quick, it feels ridiculously responsive. It must have been a truly breathtaking experience to fly in the war, and so nimble. But comparing this to the A2A Spitfire from P3D and FSX, I'd say the visual acuity is identical. Obviously function's not quite the same as the A2A, but we're not dealing with AccuSim here. Let's punch it up into the clouds. Let's tip her over. And bring her back down. Okay, there's the airport there. So we're going to head down and we'll take downwind here and we'll come in for a landing. So, gonna head her off to the right of the strip. And we'll just head towards town up ahead, and we'll come about, and we'll bring her back in. Now, gear speed for the Spitfire is about 160 miles an hour. Below that, you can drop the gear, otherwise damage occurs. Flaps will create a lot of drag on the Spitfire. They're big barn doors, and you really will get a nose down attitude with them when you actually deploy those. But it's just about managing when you're approaching and when you're actually deploying those things. You can do that pretty late on final. Now, landing is in a 3-point configuration, so you may bounce a little bit. It's a light aircraft, and the slightest kind of bit of wind will catch it, but it's about just managing it carefully. So that little delta just behind us there is going to be the approach point, so we'll start banking around, and we'll bring power down. Let us drop our gear here. Did I not pull the gear up this entire time? That would be a major whoopsie. I'm pretty sure I had the gear up. Okay, so gear's down. Nope, that's the gear sound going up. I didn't put the gear down, so I just chandelied with the gear down. Yeah, not bad. Let's make sure that's back down again. We're under 160 here. See, it's like everything's perfect to do everything right when I'm not recording. The second I start recording, all the mistakes happen, so you can point and laugh. It's really everyone's true advantage whenever I make these videos is you just get to go, haha, look at her, she's stupid. I promise I'm not. It's just the curse of recording. Okay, so there's the airport. Speed's a little high right now. We'll let that come down. Gear confirmed. There's that nose down attitude from the flaps. Just roll her onto course here. I want to make our approach, keep it about 120. We don't want to go too much lower than that right now. Maybe 110. But we're looking to drop that speed as we cross the threshold onto final. So keeping the airport centered ahead of us. Keeping the nose down, but just managing the throttle. We don't want to be quite idle yet. I want to keep it balanced about 100 now as we get close to threshold. We'll let that airspeed bleed off as we cross the threshold here. Keeping some airspeed and altitude in our favor. I want to keep those marker lights just where we want to see them above the nose. Now we want to lose sight of them. Keep eyes on the end of the runway. Let the speed bleed off. Little bit more. Little bit more. Now we're looking in our Limburg reference here for the runway as it approaches. There it is. And we're a little bit to the right. We'll let that bleed off now. We'll let the nose drift up. We're going for a 3-point landing. Idle throttle. That was gorgeous. That landing was butter. Oh my god. That was... I didn't even know I'd landed. Have I landed? Who even knows? I mean, did we land? I almost look like a professional. See? Sometimes things go right. Last time I landed this, I bounced once, but that was butter. Oh god, that was gorgeous. That gave shivers down my spine. Okay, so we're touched down, so let's pull back the canopy. Bring it back into the parking area here at Donegal. There's a little bit of gentle braking. We don't want to put too much because being a tailwheel aircraft, there is a real chance to loop them, which you don't want to do. So turning at too high a speed is very bad for the aircraft. Keeping the stick full back. No tailwheel aircraft is truly parked until it's in the hangar. They will always try and get away from you. There goes the sound peaking again. That is incredibly loud. Even with my volume in the sim at 25%, this is really a loud aircraft. But it's a massive Rolls-Royce Merlin, and later a Griffin, so it will be. Okay, so let's park up at the terminal here at Donegal. Making sure we're just managing that braking. Not too hard, but not too soft. There we go. Little dabs of power. And she stops. Let's cut that. Cut the fuel. And we'll cut our mags. And that's the Spitfire stopped and off. This aeroplane is a joy of aviation to fly. It is wonderful, especially when you pull the landing gear up. Nimble, responsive, wild. It will tame you, not the other way around. FlyingIron Simulations have done an amazing job with this aircraft. A truly amazing job. I am in love. And considering they've got planned updates to it and other versions, I'm excited. I am so excited. This thing kicks ass. Can't wait. This is a big thumbs up. Go get it. You can get it from their website, link in the description. It's £20, about 35 Australian dollars. So, totally worth it. Would recommend. 10 out of 10 IGN. Yes. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.